Good day, everyone. I would like to start with an acknowledgement of country. I'm speaking from the land of Bidigal people, and I pay my respects to the elders, past, present, and emerging. With me today on All About Data is Luis Casanova, Cloud Practice Manager at Kitech. With Luis, I've been working very closely in the last few months to support some of our common customers. Kitech is an IT services and consulting organization with a focus on delivering technology solutions for businesses. Kitech is also a customer and partner of NetApp. And today with Luis, we will focus our conversation on the basics of data management and data protection. Welcome, Luis.
Thanks, Basha. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Thank you, Luis. And it's so great to be having this conversation. I'm really excited about this conversation today. To start today's session, could you tell us a little bit about yourself? Who you are, what you do?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. So my name is Luis Casanova. I run the cloud practice at Kitech. Kitech is an Australian managed service provider with a heavy focus on enabling and assisting customers into the cloud journey. I'm personally, I'm really passionate about helping customers into the journey to the cloud and assist them in, not only into that journey, but providing tangible results for the business as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for sharing that with us, Luis. And I know, when you talk about tangible outcomes, tangible benefits to customer, and in my interactions with you as well, we've done multiple conversations with customers together. I can attest that you come across as a true trusted advisor in those conversations, right? So I can really see the passion now, and it's really great to be working closely together now. So when we talk about the journeys that the customers are on, and if we were to bring it back to the basics of data management and data protection, what kind of conversations are you having with your customers today?
Well, we're having all sort of conversations, and this is a really, a topic that really I'm passionate about. The traditional IT infrastructure businesses are, there's hardly any of that anymore. Every business is adopting cloud in one way or another. What it means is, if we go back to the basics, the data, it's absolutely everywhere. It sits on-prem, it sits in one particular cloud, in a second cloud, or in a private cloud with a provider. So it is. There are conversations that we're having, and it's very, very important to obviously know where your data is, how to protect it, and obviously how to take care of it. Observability and visibility of the data is extremely important for our customers, and with partnering with NetApp, which is a key strategic partnership for Kitech, we are able to provide solutions for our customers.
Yeah, thank you. There is that, the strategic part of that journey, taking them on a journey is really important, right? But also I think visibility, as you mentioned, and also maybe cost effectiveness as well, right? Like you've got to look at what you're deploying. Does it make sense? And then, does it make sense business wise, return on investment as well?
Yeah, absolutely. We assist our customers in the cloud journey, in the cloud migrations. It is very important to adopt a safe and secure cloud migration or cloud strategy, but it is also as important to optimize what's been migrated or moved to that cloud, right? It's not only your traditional lift and shift and away we go, but the customers need the visibility on the advice on that expenditure in a public cloud, and we are able to help them in that regard.
Yeah. So with we talked about data and moving in different environments and the capabilities that we need to make the most of it as well. What sort of applications do you know, in your conversations and in the customers that we're both commonly talking about, you know, just for the benefit of our audience, what sort of applications are you having conversations about with the customers?
Well, basically all sort of applications. There is a big, obviously there's quite a misconception from what we can see that whenever the data is in the cloud, it's fully protected and it's, you know, it's all backed up, which is not quite the case. There is obviously a shared responsibility model where the customer it's responsible for protecting their own data that sits in the cloud. So all those conversations, like your usual Microsoft 365 tenancy with your emails and obviously your SharePoint libraries and your OneDrive, we're having those data protection conversations, and obviously traditional workloads running in cloud.
So, you know, if we are talking about putting together a strategy for data management and data protection, you know, we think about a different sort of customer base. Large enterprises may already have systems in place. They're looking to move to a different technology or changing their architecture. Mid-market, you know, small businesses, they might be on a journey as well. What are some key considerations for somebody looking at, you know, taking a step back and looking at making sure that they've got the right data management and data protection strategy?
That's a great question. There is obviously there's a lot to consider. I think it's going back to basics. At the end of the day, you know, technology is technology and it's going to work. Sometimes when you compare technology between vendors, there's not much of a difference. So I think it's really important to go back to the basics. Data visibility, you know, you need to know where your data is across the multiple platforms that you run. Compliance is a big thing. You know, you need, depending on the industry that you're in, you might have some compliance regulations that you have to adhere on. And obviously data protection and disaster recovery. You need to protect the data. You need to be able to recover your data no matter where that is. And also what happens is your public cloud provider, you know, goes down. And where are you gonna, you know, when are you gonna recover your vital business applications too? So those are probably the considerations that that I think are quite important.
Like you've touched on some really, really key but basic points, right? There's data management, there's data protection, you know, security is top of mind. Yes, we know there's two-factor authentication needed, but when it comes to data, you know, we hear a lot about the 3-2-1, you know, 3 copies of your data in 2 different media and at least 1 copy off-site, right? And it's really interesting that, you know, DR is a big part of that data management. And sometimes there's a little bit of confusion around, I've got, you know, 3 copies of my data and I'm protected. I've got a really good architecture, but is that really so? If you don't have an active environment, that's a disaster recovery site, right?
That is correct. Yeah, that is correct. Also, by talking to our customers, what we find is that businesses generate an incredible amount of data, and they don't always know where all that data is, and they don't have the insights of when data was last accessible. So they could be leveraging object storage to tier data from, I guess, the production arrays into object storage. You know, pretty easily done with Fabric Pool and ONTAP. Also, we having this conversation with our customers, and we found that data sensing an extremely useful tool with Cloud Insights. Data Sense provides a lot of information about where your data is, when it was last accessed, what can you do with that data that wasn't accessed for 3 years, but you still need to keep it to meet the compliance requirements and so on.
Yeah, awesome. Absolutely. We have a lot of tools that can help with visibility, managing cost effectively, and compliance as well, right? So we've looked at, the considerations for businesses when they put together a data management, data protection strategy together. What are some of the pitfalls that they should be aware of as well?
Sure. I think one of them, I think I touched base on it before. From what I see, talking to customers and prospects, data visibility. Customers need to be able to access a simple dashboard to know what's hot data, what's cold data, and what's data that could be archived, and those and that information should be accessible right away. You don't need to be a guru, a storage administrator to access that data and provide a report to your management.
Yeah.
Management should be able to access that and make data-driven decisions that is going to benefit the business. Another pitfall that I could mention is when we talk to some customers, they don't have a quite extensive and detailed disaster recovery plan. Like if you think about it, the cost of developing a DR plan with regular testing and proven that you can actually recover or bring the business online again in case of a disaster, compared to recover from a disaster without a sound disaster recovery plan, it is minimal. So we put a lot of emphasis on disaster recovery plans, and disaster recovery plans for our customers because it is very powerful to be able to recover from a disaster.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. I mean, you've highlighted some really simple, basic points, but it's really interesting how sometimes you miss the basics, right? Sometimes, and it's really great that you are having those conversations. That's amazing. What's one key advice or takeaway you would like to leave our audience with today?
I guess from what I can, my view is that the customers don't adopt cloud. The cloud adopts the customer, if that makes sense, right? So the customers will end up in a cloud somewhere or another because of different business requirements, right? I would say have a trusted advisor that can help you in the journey. That's extremely, extremely important, not only for that cloud migration, but as we mentioned before, the different tools and the optimization of cloud costs as well. So that would be my recommendation.
So it's been such a great conversation, Luis. It's really great for me to, work with you, but also hear from what you see out in your everyday job, working on real customer scenarios and helping them, run their businesses every day. So it's been really insightful. Thank you for your time today.
Thanks, Varsha. It was great to be here, and anytime. Thank you very much.